What was the most racist rule at your school? The new policy started on a Monday in September. Principal Davis announced that all students bringing lunch from home had to have it inspected before entering the cafeteria. But not everyone. Just students whose last names appeared on what they called the Cultural Food Monitoring List. My last name is Martinez. My best friend Leo's last name is Park. Our friend Aisha's last name is Okafor. We all made the list. Students with names like Cooper and Miller and Anderson didn't have to show anyone their lunch. They walked straight past the inspection table like it didn't exist. The rest of us had to open our bags and containers while Mr. Walsh wrote things down on a clipboard. He never explained what he was writing or why. Just nodded and waved us through after examining whatever we'd brought. When Leo's mom packed him kimchi fried rice, Mr. Walsh spent 2 full minutes staring at it, wrote something long on his clipboard, asked Leo questions about the ingredients and how it was prepared. Leo answered, confused, because what did it matter? Mr. Walsh just smiled and said he was documenting for school records. I brought leftover mole from my grandma's house and got the same treatment. Questions about the spices, how long it had been in my fridge, whether anyone else in my family ate it. The questions felt invasive and weird, but I answered them because saying no would have gotten me sent to the office. Aisha brought jollof rice one day, and Mr. Walsh took a photo of it with his phone. She asked why he needed a picture of her lunch, and he said the administration was studying dietary patterns. But he didn't take pictures of anyone's peanut butter sandwiches or pizza, Lunchables, just the food that looked different, that smelled different. Within 2 weeks, something strange started happening. Leo stopped bringing lunch from home entirely. Started buying the cafeteria food even though he'd always complained it tasted like cardboard. When I asked him why, he got quiet and said his mom thought it was easier this way. Aisha switched to bringing plain turkey sandwiches, nothing that would require inspection or questions. I noticed other students on the monitoring list doing the same thing, slowly abandoning the food from their families and cultures, replacing it with meals that wouldn't draw attention. The cafeteria got more crowded, while fewer students sat with their homemade lunches. I kept bringing my grandma's cooking because giving up felt like losing something important. But every day at that inspection table felt more humiliating. Mr. Walsh started taking longer to examine my food, asking more detailed questions, writing paragraphs on his clipboard while students behind me in line groaned about the wait. Then in October, something happened that made no sense. 3 students disappeared from school midweek, just gone. Their desks sat empty and teachers acted like they'd never existed. I asked my history teacher where Maria Gonzalez went, and she said she couldn't discuss other students. The same day, I noticed Mr. Walsh wasn't at the inspection table anymore. A different teacher I'd never seen before had taken his place. She had the same clipboard with the same list of names, but she was asking different questions. Stranger questions. She wanted to know if anyone in our families had traveled recently, if we'd visited relatives in other countries, if anyone at home had been sick. These weren't questions about food anymore. Leo whispered to me in math class that his older brother got pulled out of English and taken to the principal's office. He hadn't come back by the end of the day. Leo's parents picked him up early, and he didn't respond to any of my texts that night. I saw his brother's car in their driveway the next morning, so I knew he was home. But something was wrong. The next week, 4 more students disappeared. All of them had last names on the Cultural Food Monitoring List. All of them had been bringing lunch from home. The school sent out an email saying several families had decided to transfer their children due to personal circumstances, but nobody's parents had mentioned anything about transferring, and the timing was too perfect. I started paying attention to which students remained. The ones who'd switched to cafeteria food were still here. The ones who kept bringing cultural meals were gone. It was some kind of pattern I couldn't fully understand yet. During lunch on a Wednesday, I brought my grandma's pozole in a thermos. The inspection teacher took one look at it and her expression changed. She picked up her phone and made a call right there in front of me. Then she smiled and said I needed to come with her to the nurse's office for a routine health screening. I'd never had a routine health screening before, and as I followed her down the empty hallway away from the cafeteria, I realized none of those other students had ever come back from their health screenings either. We turned a corner and I saw Principal Davis waiting with 2 people in medical scrubs I'd never seen at our school before. And that's when I understood the food inspections had nothing to do with documenting lunch. The rest of the story is on my channel or linked below.